welcome back to another episode of cedh Bling Builds. Today, we're going to go over Fblthp the Lost. Now, there exists in the game creatures, and cool creatures do cool things, but they take up too much space in our deck. Too much space in our deck. We're about this minimalist lifestyle here on the channel. So what can we do to remedy that? Well, we could build a poly tyrant deck, right? Of like tide spout tyrant or hole breaker. No, that's too many creatures. Too many creatures. Right? Those strategies where the only creature in the deck is either or maybe both. It's too many creatures. We gotta take it down a notch. Too many creatures. So how can we reduce that? Oh, we could do a Fblthp Bloomsday combo. Huh? Yeah, Fblthp Bloomsday, where there are 0 creatures in the deck. Right? That's good enough. So it's been 3 years since War of the Spark came out and Fblthp was debuted. But I think we received a ton of neat cards, a ton of blue cards in that time, in that span. And so I put together my Fblthp. Guys, I remember when he first came out, I ran with the deck for a while, and he was a favorite of mine. And so, yeah, let's get straight into the deck. So Fblthp is a 1 and a blue. When he ETBs, you draw a card. But if he ETB'd from the library, you would draw 2 cards instead. And then, of course, when Fblthp becomes the target of a spell, very important, shuffle Fblthp into its owner's library. So, you know how we do things on this channel. We have both arts. You gotta have both arts, always have both arts. Psych, just kidding, we have a bonus arts. And then we have the most important part of this combo here, Proteostat, a card you might see in other poly-tyrant decks, right? You take the creature and transform it pretty much into a tide spout. So what do we got here? Proteostat is a 3 CMC artifact, and then it has an activated ability of 2 and a blue. The mana for these combos are starting to pile up. A part target creature on the bottom of its put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. This works because this is a activated ability, not a spell. Okay, activated ability is not a spell. And so what you're going to do here, you're going to take Fblthp and put him on the bottom of your library. Okay, don't put him back in your command zone, you lunatic. And then after that, that creature's controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. And Fblthp is the only creature. So Fblthp will go to the bottom. We will filter through our entire deck. And then Fblthp is going to ETB. But before that happens, the player puts that card into play, and the rest of they take the library now and they stack it in any order. In any order. Okay? And then, of course, play this ability only time you can play it as a sorcery. So you can't do Emergent Zone as a tech land in this deck, or Anticipation to do a Bloomsday on your opponent's turn, because of this activated ability is a sorcery speed. So that's the game plan. We get the Proteostat out. We sack it to Fblthp. Fblthp will then stack our library in any order, and so and Fblthp will ETB, draw 2 cards. So we're going to stack our library as such. With something like a Mana Vault, or something that produces more than one, a rock. Just pay attention to the lands and the rocks you already have on the board before the combo. But Mana Vault is nice. Okay, so this will be the first card we draw. The second card we draw would be a combination of a 2-draw spell like a gush, or frantic search, or like a careful study, right? Something that draws 2 cards. So that's the first card we draw. And for the sake of the example, this is the second card we draw. Okay, we'll play the vault, whatever. We're gonna try to pay this gush for free, bouncing to spent islands. Try to use those islands, and we'll draw 2. And then of course we draw our Isochron Scepter, Dramatic Reversal. Now we have infinite mana. Hopefully, if we have the land to help pay for the land or the already existing rocks to help pay for what we're missing. And then you can do an infinite taps on taps, taps on taps, taps on taps. Right? Now, you're going to do a Proteostat again and do this pile again. Your second pile will then find, a colored rock, just in case you were missing it, and a win condition. Our win condition could be a blue sun zenith. We're constantly filtering through this pile, filter through a Fblthp Proteostat loop, and constantly finding your blue sun zenith. You're gonna, with your infinite blue mana, blue sun one opponent for 1,000,000, blue sun the other opponent for 1,000,000, blue sun the other opponent, last opponent for 1,000,000, and it's easy as that. Another win con we have with our infinite taps on taps and taps with our Dramatic Scepter combo is a Codex Shredder. But there's going to be the one scrub at the table with like a Titan in their deck for no reason whatsoever. And then we have Jace, Wielder of Secrets. Pretty simple, right? You have your infinite blue, blue sun yourself, draw the deck, and then you win on the spot, right? Creatureless Thassa's Oracle. Because there are no creatures in this deck, we have plenty of space for really whatever. Now with that said, let's get into the rest of the deck. We have a Teferi, Master of Time, a little thickly costed, whatever. But because you could play him on your opponent's turns, you could maybe use that that -3 to phase out a stacks piece, a Hate Bear, right? And that's the bane of this deck's existence. Hate Bears. Hate Bears and stacks pieces, right? Like Graph Digger's Cage, Dranith Magistrate. Opposition Agent? To a degree, Opposition Agent. I don't believe Opposition Agent conflicts with our combo, but we do need to tutor a lot to try to get the combo online. Maybe a Notion Thief or things like that. So a lot of Hate Bears we want to try to get rid of. Tezzeret, just to help us get our Proteostat online. Narset's partner, Bay of Veils. She helps us to keep our opponents in check if they're drawing too fast. Then of course, to a degree, we could do Time Twister loops. It's not really necessary in this deck, but I guess you could, out of desperation, do a Time Twister loop. It's a little bit more convoluted, not as straightforward. And so if you're doing the Time Twister loop, you could then keep that one opponent, maybe the one with the Titan in their deck, with just like a card in their hand. Our tutors, we have Fabricate, War of Invention, Reshape, and a Transmute Artifact. There's a Muddle the Mixture. Plenty of 2-drops, I suppose, I guess, right? Really, you just need blue fodder in this deck. Merchant Scroll, again, not super duper important. The Bloomsday combo will get my Dramatic Scepter. My Dramatic Reversal. But I guess I could just find like an emergency Cyclonic Rift if I'm having a really slow game. Solve the equation. A lot of these tutors are just blue fodder, if I'm going to be real with you. The important ones are these the important tutors are the ones for artifacts. A mystical tutor. A really, really trash tutor. We have a Manifold Insights, 2 and a blue, Sorcerer Speed. Reveal the top 10 cards of your library, starting with the next opponent, blah, 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 blah. They'll each choose a non-land card in that pile of 10. They'll each choose a different non-land card, and you put the chosen cards into your hand. You shuffle the rest of the bottom of the library. Trash tutor, but maybe you get lucky. Out of the 10, there'll be like 3 lands. So out of the 7, and you get some gas. Long-term plans for 2 and a blue instant. You search your library for a card, and you put that a third from the top, which is neat. We're in blue. We have a ton of draw power, so a third from the top isn't as awful. And plus, is that instant speed. You have an intuition. No game-breaking intuition piles in this deck. I guess we could just intuition at opponents and stuff. Get like a spot removal or something that's going to help us deal with maybe a stacks piece. Anything like that. Moving on to our draw package. Very cut and paste. We have a OG Brainstorm, OG Get Probe, OG Ponder, and an OG Preordain. We have an Impulse, a Windfall, and then of course a Time Twister. Moving on to our counters package, starting with the soft counters, we have a Misdirection, and then there's a Dispel, an Offer You Can't Refuse, Miscast, Mental Misstep, Spell Pierce, Swan Song, Flusterstorm, a Mana Drain. If you Mana Drain just the right thing, it's going to help pay for your Proteostat, perhaps. A Delay, Fierce Guardianship, Force of Negation, Pact of Negation, and a Force of Will. And moving on to our removal package, which is very important. Again, like I said, this deck is a very fragile combo. We want to be able to counter key pieces or counter anyone contesting us, or just spot removing hate bears and stacks pieces. So we have a Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, Suspend, Resculpt, Snap, March of Swirling Mists. We can't target our Fblthp, remove them from the equation, but we can, for X and a blue, just pitch a bunch of trash that we don't need to phase out anything we have to. Submerge, Chain of Vapor, Winds of Rebuke, Rushing River with the kicker cost at instant speed. It's as good as it gets in blue. And then, of course, is a Cyclonic Rift. And wrapping things up with our enchantments and artifacts and lands, we have a Mystic Remora and a Ristic Study. And for an artifacts, so before we get into the artifacts, I contemplated maybe like a copy artifact in the deck, or back to basics. Copy artifact, not so important. Oh, copy artifact and a power artifact. Power artifact, like a Basalt Monolith or a Green Monolith, to produce infinite colors mana. There's an alternate win con, but at that point, that means my main combo fell apart. And then I could just, I don't know. I don't know what I do at that point. Secondary win condition, if I lose my dramatic reversal. I don't know. The Glass Cannon deck, what do you expect from Glass Cannon? And then power artifact would have, copy artifact could have copied the dramatic scepter combo to put a thing on it that does something, but what are you gonna do? We have a Sensei's Top, Lotus Petal, Jewel Lotus, Arkham's Astrolabe, again just to help filter our blue, Felwar Stone, Hurricane Signet, Chrome Mox, Mox Opal, Mox Diamond. So it's very important in a deck like this that you might have Xaxes mana up and available to do your combo, but you're going to have to also keep a mana open for the counter war, and that's just the way it is. For our colorless rocks, we have a Grim Monolith, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt. For our lands, we have all 5 fetches. Prismatic Vista. We have a 12 snow forests. We have a Sea of Synod to help us have something to feed our transmute artifacts and reshapes. Buried Ruin, Academy Ruin, Adventurous Fair, and Urza Saga, all because we're an artifact-centric deck. For utility, we have Atawada, and a Mouth of Rodam, just to be able to punch a Hate Bear in its disgusting gingivitis mouth. And same thing can be said with the Atawada. Bounce the Stacks piece. Uncounterable. Sort of uncounterable, but no one plays like Trick Binds and Stifles. We have the Gemstone Cavern. If we open it, we're a turn ahead of our opponents. And other things to help us go fast, Berber. We have an Ancient Tomb, Crystal Vein, and the City of Traders. And there you have it, ladies and germs. We have Fblthp, The Lost in 2022. A fun, stupid little combo to have with pieces that you probably already have, especially if you're a Poly-Titan type of player. But if you're about that minimalist lifestyle, creatures, especially creatures nowadays, their text box is a little bit too big. You don't have time to read. Try cutting creatures entirely. Thank you very much. And bye.